Hello everyone, welcome back to Bitcoin Trade. In this episode here, I'm just going to go over some headlines and of course go over a chart analysis here. So here's the first one, which you should all know about by now. Biggest Bitcoin exchange restores service, so which is great news. Now we're just waiting for Mt. Gox to restore their service, and I think everyone will go back to making money. I'll go. I've always been making bitcoins here, but and some money going back and forth. If you see my previous episodes, I told you what's been happening with me. Been getting a lot of orders on localbitcoins.com, and some of my other buyers and sellers who've been trading with me have also been contacting me as well. Outside of course, local bitcoins, basically doing blind transactions for the most part. So if you haven't seen my episode on blind transactions, I've mentioned those before. Go ahead and go back to episode 01 all the way to now, and you'll see what I'm talking about as far as blind transactions and what they are, and how you can use blind transactions to do your trades. So everybody should know about this, right? No problem. Now we're waiting for Mt. Gox. That's all we have to wait for. Excuse me. So let's go over some other headlines here. And the New York Post is, well, the New York Post. What can I say? Welcome to the 21st century Ponzi scheme, Bitcoin. So I guess in the 20th century it was fiat currency, and the 21st century is Bitcoin. So the former Ponzi scheme was money, paper money, and now it's Bitcoin. But I read this article. I think it's a great article to read. When you read it, it has a lot of things about it, and it talks about the Wolf of Wall Street and how Bitcoins are like Wolf of Wall Street. Well, it's kind of funny how he compares the Wolf of Wall Street, which really was a wolf, literally on Wall Street, preying on poor retired grandma's retirement and grandpa's retirement. It's kind of how he it's kind of weird how this author mentions the Wolf of Wall Street. The name in itself says everything, and compares it to Bitcoin. So let me see if I can scroll up. Let's find who the author is, so we know who wrote this, if that's their real name. I don't know if journalists ever use their real name when they write their articles or not, but that's who wrote it. If he's real, okay, cool. Everyone's, and there's the date. There's the date. And so, is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme? Let me just, y'all can read this, and I'll just elaborate on this. Excuse me, I still got a cold. I'm recovering a lot better. It was really bad when it got cold around here, but okay. Is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme? If you ask me, yes, it is. It's a Ponzi scheme because Bitcoin can exist without fiat currency. And what is fiat currency? Fiat currency is a Ponzi scheme as well. But the difference between a fiat currency Ponzi scheme and a Bitcoin Ponzi scheme is that that if you try to go after fiat currency, you're losing value, okay? Because the Ponzi scheme is on you, not on them, okay? People who make fiat currency are basically putting you into a Ponzi scheme. So yes, fiat currency is a Ponzi scheme, and what sucks about fiat currency is that when you buy into fiat currency, you're losing value. Okay, you're losing value because they are printing money. So the Ponzi scheme is for you to come in and have you believe that U.S. dollars is more valuable than gold, silver, your house, um, even stocks and bonds are more of a product of debt, in my opinion, because if after you make your gains and everything, and after the brokerages make all the commissions and everything, what do you got to do? You got to convert everything back to a fiat currency. So you're back to square one, except you've, for the most part, stocks and everything, in my opinion, are and currency trading, for the most part, are a zero sum game where you have winners and you have losers. So someone has to lose in order for you to gain. And I think that's kind of true with those kind of financial instruments. Now, where I believe Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme is that the differences between all those other financial instruments and this particular financial instrument, Bitcoin, is that first of all, it's a limited supply. So the Ponzi scheme that you're doing is basically on the banking system. So you're putting a Ponzi scheme on the banking system, making them you know, the sucker, and you're coming up on top. And the way you come up on top is make sure that a lot of people use Bitcoin. So you try to get as many people to use Bitcoin, because what Bitcoin does that fiat currency doesn't do is Bitcoin appreciates in value as the more it's being used. All right. So this author right here is totally right. This is a Ponzi scheme, but this Ponzi scheme appreciates in value. And the zero sum, it's kind of a zero sum game, but not quite, because if you've been watching my episode, who is this guy, Jonathan, or Mr. Trugman, take some time to look at my videos, episode 01 until now, and first of all, I would say go ahead and buy a Bitcoin. I would say first buy a Bitcoin, trade a Bitcoin, understand what Bitcoin is and how it works, and after that, after you get hooked on Bitcoin, then write an article about how this is a Ponzi scheme. All right. I don't know if you ever did or not, but the way you wrote this thing, it doesn't sound like you know what Ponzi, uh, what Bitcoin is. Uh, it also sounds like you don't even know what a Ponzi scheme is either, because if you knew what it was, you would find out that you're already in one. It's called the U.S. dollar if you're in America, euro if you're in Europe, pound if you're in the UK, yen if you're in Japan, or Aussie dollar or the loonie or whatever. Uh, just basically whatever legal tender you're dealing with, you're in a Ponzi scheme. So I've always said this, and I keep always saying this: if it existed in fiat currency or U.S. dollars, I'll just say U.S. dollars because the U.S. dollars is the most dominant currency out there. Um, all right. Now, so there's no point in me saying the euro or the pound. I just maybe I should just say U.S. dollar because that's what people love. Anyways, and by the way, in my opinion, the reason why people love U.S. dollars is because America has the best, the strongest armed forces in the world. All right, and people invest in America by collecting U.S. dollars. All right, and because they know that if anything happens, they could just call on the U.S. and the U.S. will, do whatever it can to ensure that, their interests are, you know, protected. Because U.S. dollars is U.S. dollars backed by the government of the United States of America. All right. So, anyways, what I want to say was, if it exists, excuse me, if it exists in U.S. dollars, it exists in Bitcoin. So if whatever people who criticize Bitcoin, you know, you got to really think about what you're saying because Bitcoin doesn't exist without US dollars. All right, they're one and the same, but they work in opposite ways. One, uh, U.S. dollars go down in value. All right, Bitcoin goes up in value, and well, I, I, I just keep repeating myself, but just go and watch the videos. If you don't get it the first time, watch it again. If you don't get it second time, watch it again. And maybe the third time you'll get it. If not, just keep watching. That's why I put them out there. So, but interesting story. I did enjoy reading it. I do believe there are probably wolves out there. Um, but this game, if you're a wolf, you're coming to the wrong game because people who trade in Bitcoin, well, we're the hunters. All right, we're on top of the food chain, and if you're a shark, well, we're hunters. All right, we're gonna hunt you. I welcome any wolf or any hunter because I mean any wolf or any sharks to come in and try to play Bitcoin like that because they're gonna they're probably gonna get shot down pretty quick. The people who trade in Bitcoin, we're the hunters. All right, it shouldn't be called Wolf on Wall Street. It should be called this should be called maybe you should have titled it Hunters on Bitcoin or something. Anyways, is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme? Yes, it is. But it's a Ponzi scheme where the value of everything goes up the more you use it versus uh, fiat currency where the value goes down the more it's being used, or the more it's being printed, I should say. So, anyways, but I did enjoy the article. I thought it was great. Wonderful article. Take time to read it. People at New York, where did this come from? Oh yeah, the people at New York Post. I love some of their stories. I mean, here's another story that I did on. And look at this. Look at the faces. Look at the pictures they chose. Fezuz 3. Was that 31 million? So, anyways, they really know how to try to sell a story, but it got me to read it. I'm talking about it. There you go, New York Post. All right. Excuse me. Let's see what's on the other pipeline here. Okay, Bitcoin's largest exchange is dying. Here's why that's not a problem for Bitcoin. And this is talking specifically about Mt. Gox. And I've always been kind of saying Mt. Gox is a leading indicator. If it falls, Bitcoin's falls, and it kind of has. And to some degree, we'll see. First of all, the Mt. Gox was the first one to address that problem publicly, and halted with their Bitcoin withdrawals based on that. Is it an issue of are they solvent? Is it an issue of do they have the Bitcoins? Were they plagued by this bug and they don't have any Bitcoins? I think if anything was going to happen, it would have been announced, but we still don't know. I'm still speculating. But this particular author here was making a good article about, well, Bitcoin's so independent now, and so well known, and there's other exchanges competing for your business. There's businesses out there. There's also peer-to-peer, like people, trading in the real world for Bitcoins for real cash going into your bank account. Okay. You don't even need exchanges anymore. It's gotten to the point where we only use the exchange as a price reference. You can even use Coinbase if you wanted to. There's a Coinbase price, so you can use Coinbase as a price discovery mechanism. And so does Mt. Gox, if they live, great. Are they that significant of a player anymore? Kind of not. I think a lot of people realize that Mt. Gox is not that important, as far as trading, price discovery, liquidity. So they kind of lost their position a little bit, but they're still in play as long as they're around, and prices are moving, but it does. Um, are they that important? Where if they fall, Bitcoin falls? No. If they fall, they just fall. Bitcoin will still be around. Somebody else in Japan will probably come up and um, spring up, and they'll be happy to take all of Mount Gox's customers and everything. And who knows? I mean, I have a. I'm hoping there become an American exchange. Then I know that my legal tender, my Bitcoin and my legal tender on that exchange is for real. Um, I don't know what they're doing over there. I know they're not required or anything to really there's no regulations over there as far as Bitcoins, but who knows? I think it'd be foolish of Mt. Gox not to correct this problem because man, they can be making so much more money if they got more trades coming in. But in any case, their problem is probably no banks willing to work with them um, for the most part. So that's probably the main reason why they're having withdrawal issues on their cash. But anyways, it does make a nice, interesting point that towards the end, as they talk, um, well, anyways, I'll let you read it. So let's go on to the next article here, which is actually this one. It says something for nothing. Volatile Bitcoin digital currency gaining support. So this is a recent article here by this gentleman here. And he's basically talking about people in the real world making trades for the most part, and just some information on Bitcoin, a little history of it and everything, and why is it attractive to some people, and why our businesses are taking orders for Bitcoins, and why people trade Bitcoins and everything, and all these things that kind of what I've been talking about. So it's kind of interesting that people are kind of seeing things the way I see, I guess. And so in this particular one, I think it talks about um, how. Oh, never mind. Uh, Let me just scroll up to the title here. And this is, in my opinion, a very good article uh, to read. It doesn't. It talks about everything about Bitcoin, gives you some examples of it, how it's applied in the real world, not just an exchange video game, how this is evolving all the time, and what real people think about it. What are the real people in the real world doing with their Bitcoins? So, pretty good article in my opinion. Something for nothing. Basically, I think what they're talking about is nothing, as in, we don't really get a coin or anything. We're literally just trading electronic whatever that represents a number that represents a dollar figure. So what are we really doing? We are literally something for nothing. One of my first trades, the person who sold me their Bitcoin, we talked a little bit, and I told him, man, I just bought nothing. But that's okay because I understand what I'm buying. I understand what I'm doing here. If you haven't seen my episodes, like I said, go back to '01, understand how I understand Bitcoin until now, and then maybe in that sense you'll understand what I'm doing. Um, and as time goes on, I'll document all this. I'll share this with you. If you don't believe this is real, I mean, I am doing this for real. Uh, when people ask me about Bitcoin and I tell them what I do, um, for some reason this concept and this idea that I have does not register with with everyday people. Um, they have no idea what money is. They have no idea where money comes from and how it's created. They don't even know that money is an instrument of debt, and it's enslaving them from ever being financially free from debt. They don't understand it. And on top of that, because they don't understand what money is, they totally don't understand what Bitcoin is. And they don't understand this is also a financial instrument. It's not this. I don't know why people keep putting pictures of this up here. Um, I don't know. I guess it's something for people to see. But if you can see through what this picture is and understand what Bitcoin really is and how it works, um, you would gladly pay whatever price it is. I mean, you wouldn't. If the higher the price, you wouldn't. It's hard to dish out that money. But the lower the price is, man, you'd be like, wow, I can do this. Excuse me. So, but it's a very good article, and it's kind of true what he says. Something for nothing, volatile Bitcoin digital currency gaining support. Something for nothing. That is so 100% true. You are really paying for something that's nothing. Um, it's amazing. But if you understand the concepts that I kind of mentioned, you would really know you're getting something way more valuable than what you put in. If you know how to trade it right, you know how to use it right. Um, anyways, just watch all my videos. I don't know how else to explain it. I just keep saying the same things over and over again. But okay, let's go on to the last headline here, and this is a video. This is a video of the whole episode of this guy who confronted the owner of Mt. Gox, or the CEO of Mt. Gox. Watch this man confront CEO of Mt. Gox over his missing bitcoins. And at first when I saw this, I just saw the picture. But man, if you see the video, and especially the part where he confronts whatever this guy right here. This is one fat motherfucker. you know, if you see this and you're like, whoa, this guy's fat. If you wonder where your money's been going, it's probably been going to a lot of sushis. Matter of fact, what article was it? What article was it that? Was it this article? I'm not sure. I read one article where they talked about that bitcoins were all the money that you put into bitcoins were being used for people to eat sushi off of prostitutes or something. I don't know. There was an article on here. I probably closed it because I thought it was so ridiculous. But it could be plausible. I mean, look at him. If you see the video, man, this guy's pretty plump. He's been eating a lot of sushi off of prostitutes or something. That's just a joke, anyway. Hey, that's just a joke, all right? Take it easy. Take it easy. Anyways, it's a great video. But what they don't show you, you got to see the video, okay? You've got to see the video because, first of all, the guy was obviously he's kind of a little upset. He did protest, but he was not violent in any way. He did not, from the video, he didn't attack anybody or scream or yell at anybody. He just simply asked, where's his money? Where's his Bitcoin? When are you gonna, give us back our Bitcoin? Do you have the Bitcoins? Of course, there was no reply or anything. And all he did was just really stand in his way. He didn't physically contact him or anything. So and this last part here, he I don't know if he did any good. He probably really feels right now that his bitcoins are lost. We don't know. We'll just have to see. Unfortunately, I hope they're not. For this guy's sake, I mean, it seems like he had a lot of bitcoins in this exchange. So basically, would probably be futile. But he said that servers are definitely worth it. if I lost my lifestyle change. Let me see, where was the, let me see, is it further down? Yeah, it's further down, okay. So basically, when he announced his travel and protest plans on Reddit, the response was mixed. While some supported his effort, others said Mt. Gox had already given a credible explanation for the withdrawal problems, which it sounds to be true because it was kind of crazy for a while, and should be allowed time to fix them. So I guess some people are thinking that this was a credible explanation, and on top of that, they should be given time to fix it. So let's see when this article was written at the time. And so let me see, it was last update. Is that the article? No. Okay. It's 14th, February 14th, and I believe that was Friday. So, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, I think Friday Bitstamp resumed their Bitcoin withdrawals. So everyone is just really, literally waiting. This guy especially was really waiting on Mt. Gox. So, but interesting video. I would take a look at it. It's funny. This guy really is a fat motherfucker. I mean, he's kind of gained some weight there. He's been drinking a lot of Starbucks lattes, I guess. So let's go into a chart analysis now that we're done with all that. And here's the 2 hour on Bitstamp. And it's try to make an attempt to break out, but it's kind of failing a little bit. But the good news is that if you look at the average, it's trending up and sideways. So it's down from here, and it is following this resistant line, but there's only so much that it can push this down before buyers realize, this is a good time to break out. And if they break out, I mean, who knows what it'll do. It may range up and down for a while, but if it could break out of this downtrend, which would be a good, really good news to people who trade in Bitcoin. But either way, I mean, if you look at these price movements, as long as there is a price movement, you should always be able to make money, even hedging yourself. Like, for example, if you can't cash out, and if you have Bitcoins, I mean, what I've been doing, and I've been telling everyone, go buy yourself those gift cards and use them. When I trade in the real world, and the trades that I make, the gains I make in Bitcoins, I use those to buy my groceries. I use those to buy pizza. I bought a $30 worth of pizza. What it really cost me? It cost me $16. Because the trades I made in with my Bitcoins, or my Bitcoins and fiat currency, taking it back and forth. So take advantage of those price fluctuations. You're saving money, or you're spending less, one or the other. So there's Bitstamp. It's still under pressure, but if it's hugging this, there's a good chance it's gonna break, and I'll go over some reasons why. Here's BitC, the same thing. You're looking at now we got a different story on Mt. Gox. We got a really, really interesting story on Mt. Gox. So it came down to here, busted out, like literally busted out, moved about $100 and then some, okay, from 400 to up, and then came back down even further. Excuse me. Now, this is kind of interesting in that it would break out, and then the sudden sell-off. And I think a lot of people are just anxious just to kind of recoup some of their losses, maybe. When it spiked up this high, look at this. That's kind of when it started to drop. But the fact that it broke out of that line, let me see. So basically, right here, this is where the price was really starting to drop. So it went up, came back down even further. There could be an indication of maybe there is something, uh, traders who are trading here are investing in hopes that that they could start allowing withdrawals. Who knows? At these prices, I mean, don't, like, just in case. Okay, think of it this way: if Mt. Gox goes, you lost all your money anyway, right? But if Mt. Gox survives, I mean, don't you feel foolish that you sold at that price and someone bought at that price? Because when I've been watching this, and I see a lot of sell orders, but I also see a lot of buy orders, like 100, 200, 400 Bitcoin buy orders here. There's no way they're making money. There's no way that a market order pushing the price up, that someone's making money, and then pushing the price driving down, they're making money. And in this trading platform, you can't just push the price up and then try to push the price down and think you're making money. You're not. The people who have their limits orders and everything are probably making money. The person who made that market order probably lost money. So I'm seeing large activities around here now. You could see kind of the action, the price action. And so this is going to take me to some of the other charts here, which is this one here on a 2 hour. This is a 2 hour 5-day. Let me refresh it. And then the 10 and 25 weighted average briefly went up. Now it's crossed back down. So could be a little sign, but it looks like still a downtrend going. And then here's BitC, same thing, in 2 hour 5-day, and it's taking a drop. And so is a Bitstamp. No, excuse me. And it's also taking a drop. So, but it's had a good run up. It's showing an up, but it's really a very slow side trending way. But we'll see what it is. Only time will tell. This is a 2 hour. You have to be a lot more patient on a 2 hour than on a 15-minute or half an hour, or even an hour. But one more I want to show you, and here it is. I want to show you this because I think this is it's really important to see this now. Now we're looking at the volume, and this may be the last 30 days, but I think this has a lot to do with the sell-off. But at the same time, the volumes have increased. So if there's that many people trading, they're kind of stuck at that exchange. That's probably how you're going to see a lot of trades here. So Mt. Gox has moved to the number 2 spot, BitC number 3. Bitstamp has moved to number 1. I'm assuming a lot of people have gone into Bitstamp. So Mt. Gox is still in play. I know the price doesn't represent it for all the problems they're having, but when they do allow withdrawals, and they should, because Bitstamp had the problem and they're going, BitC was actually never affected. So it's just a matter of a fix, and there's a fix. Now they just need to do their part and get it going. They should be able to start making money, maybe, or once they get it going, everyone will just bail. But man, at these prices, it's hard to say no. So anyways, that concludes this episode here. I hope you all enjoyed it. Feel free to comment, like, dislike, or even leave a video response. Until next time, stay tuned.